Hi-oh, beefer! Away!
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Crits Cast. We are bringing you some Respawn League action tonight. This is Highlander, Oceania, Crippled Cartel versus BP. Look at the rosters real quick. I'm going to start with Crippled Cartel. On Scout, we have Lunar. Soldier is Spartan, Pyro, Ginger Cat, Meow.
Sambu on Heavy, Jolson on Engineer, Tal on Medic, Zeus on Sniper, and Lux on the Spy. On Prowater B12, so a little different to the Badwater Pro that has been run previously. There is also the one-way shutter door that lets red team leave first, but not get back into it if they decide to go for a roof hold. There's also... Never mind. I'm lost. Blue, get the... Right, okay, the last forward spawn for blue, they have an extra door that goes into the boiler room instead of just getting thrown out onto the B point. And that's pretty much it. Those are all the big changes. I think there is a staircase in the spawn, right? No, there's a ladder. There's a ladder in the red spawn. So right, it used to be a staircase, but yeah, no, like the ladder, much less clunky than the staircase.
Definitely. Well, we have readied up, so we're in the setup time right now. Again, this is Crippled Cartel versus BP, Respawn League, Highlander, Premier Division. What should we expect from this first hold from Red?
First hold from Red, I mean, you're going to be seeing pretty normal stuff. There's going to be on the lookout for the bombers. I wouldn't be shocked if we see Duck and Nerf both go for bombs right at the beginning. Provided Duck isn't running direct hit, and he is not. So I imagine we'll see them both bomb with full buffs, try and get to the Force or the gun, and we'll see some sniper duels on the ramp, which is what I'm looking for here. And that's going to be Zoek cleaning up the first kill onto Zeus, and that's the one name I didn't get to mention in the pregame. Is Zoek. He's been around for a little while, you know, all the way back to like UGC Season 19, which was years ago at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's been around for ages, competent sniper, so those two will match up against each other nicely. And will be one of the big kind of, matchups to watch in this game.
Definitely. Well, the team, blue team has moved out. We are getting a little bit of, you know, cart time push all the way up. This gun hasn't gone down yet, and it looks like they're just trying to, actually, I lied. Sorry, the gun did go down. Lug guts also went down. I wasn't paying attention for half a second. But they, you know, it looks like they're just opting to get as much of the cart pushed up as they possibly can on the side of BP. But they haven't managed to break Red off of this cliff. But Red actually has to be careful because they pushed the cart up quite a long ways. Sambu and Jolson are doing great work, and Precious just getting a little bit more time on the cart as well. And they actually do end up dropping down onto the ground to force them out. And at this point, it looks like BP has all of the height and all of the Ubers too, and it does get popped up. Nerf cleaning up players, and it's just all gone wrong for Crippled Cartel at the moment. Crud going down as well. He gets caught out eating a sandwich, and Blue's gonna end up capturing a really good time, 1:29 seconds on that first point. What did you see there, Michael?
Vashta dropped right before anything happened to the sniper, I'm pretty sure.
Yikes.
And that's what just let that unfold in favor of BP, and they've got roof control now because of it. Free a second take of their life, still uber advantage even with the late pop because Vashta was left alone. And Vashta's gone again to Cappy.
It looks so promising when they got that first wave of kills in the initial stages, but it has really just gone very south for Crippled Cartel in this early stages. 1:57 for 2 points. Now, I'm not the biggest Highlander geek, but I know that's a pretty bloody good time. So they're gonna have to really pull a rabbit out of the hat if they want to make out some sort of time and not just have this first map be a one and done.
And I mean, they're not even holding third here. They're holding it passively, but BP will be able to get the cap here, and that means they'll be able to get the good forward spawn. Nerf does get knocked around a little bit, but gets the Uber used on him. And again, because Vashta died before, they have a huge Uber advantage, so they've still got a good amount of time to play with here. Cart will get pushed up, Sambu will die, but that's going to be traded for the life of Duck, so pretty even on the defense as not Zoek. Zoek dies. to Zeus, who's going to open himself up on the offense.
Oh, Lux with a beautiful backstab on both Crud and Default. Just jumps off of that little pavilion platform and just stab 1-2 and you're done. And Blue is just, they have taken all the space. They have all the players they need as well. Vasha does have an Uber charge ready to go, but he's only got Ginger Cat Meow and Lugnuts with him. Maybe not the best players, that Pyro and the Engineer, to take an Uber trade on. And if they want to use that at some point, they're going to have to do it soon. Tal is at 70-80% right now. Crud could very well get backstabbed, but Lux is going to get found out and mowed down. But really, really tense stuff there. If you're Crippled Cartel, you've really got to be asking yourself and figuring out really, really quickly, just what the heck is going on, guys. This is really not too good. The Uber does get used by Tal. Sambu is unflashed. He could go down. No, he does get flashed back in. The sentry does go down. And they're just picking up players left and right. Crud, Lugnuts are both down. Ginger Cat Meow goes down as well. And they are just on this cart. Vasha goes down. Crud going in for any sort of damage you can get. Or sorry, Spartan goes in for some damage. And Ginger Charma saves the day. Backstab on Nerf. Backstab on Tal. But this gun being down, they're going to have to get everything set up really, really quickly and just be ready to ride out the next wave of pressure, because this is, like I said, this is really not too good for them at the moment.
Yeah, look, it's certainly not looking good for them right now, but a team like this of Crippled Cartel, these guys have been playing together for a really long time. The core of this team, which I would say is Crud, Bolt, Ginger Cat, Meow, Lugnuts. So most of their combo, it has been playing together for, all of Respawn League and a really long time in UGC as well. The core of this team was together in Season 20 UGC, which, is a really long time. Zoek as well was in with these guys at the time, so they will have a strong idea on how to play the game with each other. They just need to not crumble like they're doing right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they might have a strong idea, but Blue had a better idea, and I think it's called wiping the team, and they're going to win the first round with a really, really good time. 5 minutes, 19 seconds. Now, again, I'm not a huge Highlander buff. Most of my expertise does lie in sixes, but that's a really, really good time, Michael. If you are on Crippled Cartel, how the heck do you overcome this? Or at this point, are you already looking forward to Steel?
I think the first step that I do is I wipe away my tears. And then you start to think, okay, we need to get first point in a minute. That's the first thing. They need to. A lot of teams would tell you at this point, or a lot of people would tell you, take it 1 point at a time. Just go A to B to C to D to E and just cap them one at a time as fast as you can. You need to get first point within a minute and then just roll. You can't let the team set up at all on any point, just like they did to you just now.
Right.
They can do it. I know for a fact these guys can. I've seen them do it before, but I just don't know if they can do it against BP the way that they've been playing so far.
Yeah, again, that was a really, really solid first round, so we'll see just what they can get done with the 5 minutes and change time that they have to make up. Ginger Cat going in for a bit of a cheeky play with a jetpack, and he does help clean up Sambu, who gets picked off by Zoek. Default going in for a big bomb. It's just a big sack wave. They do end up picking up the gun and getting the force out of Tal. So that is a really good first start to this map. Tal does, again, he gets force, doesn't end up dropping like Basha did at this point in, when Crippled Cartel was holding. But again, they've just completely gotten out of dodge. They're like, you know what, we're just gonna, you can have it, right? You can have A. We're gonna get set up on B. And it seems to me, just in the way that B is set up, that B is a much harder push to make work. They do have an Uber ad that they can play with, but if they're to get this point or wrestle control of Roof, they're gonna have to play their cards right, pick off the players one at a time, and they really can't afford to drop anybody in the exchange.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, what you said is correct. Second is certainly a harder point to push when the team has a actual setup on the roof here. And with Tau getting their Uber right now, it is looking pretty good. That is most of a combo wipe from the side of BP, losing Pyro Demo and the Heavy while the Ubers are traded, and the Medic as well, right at the beginning there. And you, at this point,
rough, man.
you need to get this moving without Uber.
Yeah, you just gotta go and dry, and really, you know, if they just get, you know, it seems pretty obvious, but just get the cart moving and get it going as fast as you can. I mean, that ultimately that is what's going to win them the game, but you know, they're just going to have to take the picks where they can get, but keep that cart pressure up as much as they can. Now, Cappy does get caught out there, so they've gotten a lot of good picks here, actually. BP being down 6, they've just gotten some spawners, but if they keep on pushing this card up, they could, you know, 3 minutes left on the clock. It's not impossible, but they really have to make these pushes work. Vash with a big 50% advantage over Tal as well, so they're really applying some pressure. They're taking a lot of forward position while Lugnuts and Lunar are stacking on the cart just to get it up as far as they can. 2 minutes 30, it is really not outside the realm of possibility, but they have to be careful for Lux, who is on the cart. He does pick up Lugnuts, but he's going to be found. Is he going to be found? No, he gets away, sneaky. But even then, they're going to need to use this Uber and get as much kills as they can before Tau comes up on his, and he's at 90 at the moment, so it has to happen right now.
They missed the opportunity for the early kill, but with 2 minutes left, they have an opportunity to make a push here and fail it and have a second chance, but they need to do it soon, and that's what they're doing right now. Luna and Default both in. Default caught out of the Uber, though, does get the force off onto Tal, so that's going to be what they were looking for, at least in this trade. They keep Vashta alive, and they may catch some overextending players here. Cappy goes down. That's going to be it.
And they're applying pressure. Lugnuts with the flank under. Oh, he gets taken down. Cheeky by Lugnuts. Pressure's going down to Zoic as well. And this is pretty good. You know, they're playing pretty aggressively. But Ginger Cat Meow does go down. Sambu peek in this corner. He does have to be careful of Default, who's just laying stickies and pipes at the feet of them. Sambu really weak on 42 health. Just any sort of chip damage would have done it on him. But Nerf getting Ginger Charmer getting nerfed, so that's the demo down. A really key pick. That lack of area denial is going to be pretty crucial, and they're just doing their best to brute force and muscle their way around the corner. They only have a minute to capture this, but they've come up on their Uber at the same time that Tau does. Tau's going to end up using on Sambu as well, which is great if you are on Crippled Cartel. They have kited this in its entirety, and what are they going to do with this? It looks like they're coming in now. The Uber does get used out on Default, and they've gotten a lot of picks. Precious, Cappy, Jolson, Lux are all down. They do have to be careful of Nerf, who is laying stickies from above on high. But Ginger Charmer doing God's work out there, pushing the cart, and this could very well happen. They're ×3 on the cart, and they pull it off. Wow.
When I said this would be a close game, I didn't mean both teams pushing in 5 minutes.
What a interesting game. That is for certain. Credit is due. But we are going to go to Steel. Now this is CP Steel F2.
There's one of two situations here for each team. Either they love it and they'll thrive, or they'll hate it and they suffer.
It's very much like a really, like, your team really has to be totally in sync. There has to be like a strong level of cohesion, or else you know, there's always that potential threat of the back cap, players sneaking behind, getting on E, and it's very much, you know, things can start snowballing very quickly. You know, I do have very fond memories of back when I lived in NA. I never played Highlander, but you know, you'd always see the great teams like K&D and some of the others always having just really classic games on Steel. So who knows? That Badwater game was a classic. This could very well be a classic as well. I guess we'll find out, because we are going live again. This is Crits Cast. season, I can't remember what season this is for.
This is 8.
Season 8, Week 2, Respawn, Australian and New Zealand, Highlander, Crippled Cartel versus BP, with Crippled Cartel actually being the defending team first. So what do you think what do we see for these first 2 points, A and B?
So it's looking like a pretty standard hold. You know, have your spy and demo man commit forward, demo man mainly for trap, spy for the intel, and you just loose hold A. I wouldn't be shocked if both halves here end up with A getting capped with maybe 1 death at most to demo traps, and within 50 seconds. You know, it's the way that most teams outside of Pandas and whoever's contesting Pandas play Steel.
Right.
They like to hold A bit more, which was made popular a few years ago. But you know, this is the way that Steel has pretty much been played around the world for as long as it's been a thing, because the A point just sucks on defense, and you can see here, you know, people are capping it. Default is actually committing a little harder than I thought he would, but he does get out alive thanks to Ginger Charmer's pick onto Duck. And look, it's going to get capped. Ginger Charmer will die. You know, 1 kill apiece and the first point is lost. And this is where Steel really begins.
You nailed it, Michael. This man is a Highlander savant. What can I tell you? We're gonna see the hold on B starting to get set up. I do see there are a couple players on blue who are looking to either go drop down or wait for that gate on A, which would allow them to flank in behind. As we can see, Precious. I think Precious was on the point, but he's gonna get scared off by Spartan. And there's really not a lot of hard pressure on B. Again, there are a few players behind, including Jolson, who does have a teleporter set up near D. And yeah, it looks like they might just want to send in players a couple times to the to E just to bring other players back so that they can then hard pressure B.
There's a level 3 gun getting set up. I don't think this is not a normal like E distraction. There's a level 3 gun getting set up right now on E for blue team.
That is incredibly based. And this is one of the interesting things that I've always liked about Steel, is that there's so many different ways that you can play it, and sort of if you figure out some strats that work for you, like run it. It's like what's Jolson doing? Like he's got a gun set up on E, you know, and if it just has that little bit more point coverage, every time they pressure, you know, they send a player to start capping E. What is Crippled Cartel going to do about it? There's not really a whole lot, because you know you've got an aim lock gun right on you. They are going to have to be careful though, because at some point, if this doesn't materialize it, they're going to have to start capturing B. But it looks like they're committing a lot of resources to trying to get E.
I definitely like it though.
Well, Tao
control.
Yeah, well, Tao goes down. Ginger's getting on the gun as well, just trying to sap it and buy them a little bit of pressure reprieve. But they are doing just a really good job of setting up on E and getting the hold on it. Precious getting some precious cap time on the point and dodging and weaving, but still not a whole lot. And now, because they've actually forced Crippled Cartel back to E, now Lux and Tao are getting some cap time on B instead. Wow, this is this is an interesting game.
Yeah, this is the joy that is Steel. And the thing is, because you get A for free, it's what allows this to happen. You know, like teams that commit and hold A don't really run into this problem. And with all of that, like, I mean, a lot of that was useless, you know? Like, it was trading kills, Tal dropped, but they still got a 3-minute cap on B, and that's still really good. You know, like a lot of the times teams will just kind of brute force B for, you know, 4 or 5 minutes until it goes down, and they've managed to make a bunch of distraction. They've kind of ruined the hold right now for Crippled, and, you know, like, Lugnuts is on minis now. And that's a big deal. He won't be able to... I think he is swapping off to level... No, he's staying on the minis, getting a held up on C, and B, they're going right back to it, get the pressure on E. But because of B getting capped, Crippled have a little bit of a better spawn to deal with it now, so they'll be able to prevent that a little more, and we'll probably see the C through D and E.
Well, even here now, you're seeing Crippled Cartel. They're committing a lot of resources again just to make sure nobody's getting any sort of time or pressure onto B or onto E rather. God, there's so many points. And because of that, it's allowed BP to get into C virtually uncontested. They're so afraid of this cap onto E. Now they have to be afraid of caps onto D and E. A, B, C, D, E.
And
Why do all these letters sound the same, man? But now as well, the interesting thing is that there are little ridge connectors that are going to go from the platform onto E, which means that it's not just relegated to the scout or the soldier to jump on the platform. Now anybody can walk on it. And look at this, they've already gotten D virtually, again, uncontested. And Crippled Cartel, I mean, they pulled a rabbit out of the hat last game, but they're really going to have to figure out how the heck they're going to hold E, because BP has gotten a great time, 5 minutes for 4 points. You know, at this point, it's more about damage control. How long can we keep BP from capping this last point? Because they do have about 13 minutes to kill off, but, you know, they've also dropped 6 of them in the process.
Yeah. No, I think at this point it is going to be pretty simple for BP. I was doubting them a little bit at the beginning because I wasn't sure how solid their understanding of the map would be. Steel is probably the most complex Highlander map there is, you know, in the pool ever. I don't think there's a map really competes with, because the map is always open to that E capture. But the way that they've played this, you know, they were doing things that I would expect out of teams that I would be calling on. You know, these are really high level plays that they're making. The constant pressure onto B and E. The fact that they were pressuring not just D but also E, which forced Crippled into a really bad position once they gave up D and the doors closed behind them. They got stuck there and wiped. You know, like they're doing really high level things here, and the fact that they've capped these 4 points against a very experienced team in 5 minutes shows that they're a force to be reckoned with, and I think it's only going to be a matter of minutes until we see the point fall to them, as we do have Nerf standing on it now, getting some damage onto Crippled.
Yeah, at this point for BP, it's just about trying to win this war of attrition as fast as you can. Because you see right now, Sambu's getting a lot of cap time at the moment as the heavy, and you've got Jolson with his wrangled mini sentry. But they are trading players quite a bit. There is a flank battle going on in this lobby-esque area. So they've traded out Jolson, they've traded out Sambu, Spartan, Lugnuts, and Ginger Charmer had also gone down. But Crud's actually getting pretty far forward as well. He could actually get this teleporter, which could be quite bad for Jolson, but he's going to get scared off by the Demo Man as well. Default loses a fight to Precious on the point, getting that double X cap time, and he's going to pick up Ginger Cat Meow as well. They're going to have to get Precious off of this point sooner rather than later, and Lugnuts is in to see if he can do that. All the while, there's still this fight going on the flank. The Uber does get forced out, but Vasha had gone down. And again, so many players have gone down for Crippled Cartel. This is surely the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah, and they're getting into position to stop this. As long as, if you have your Demo Man on that one corridor from D to E, it's a lock. And the moment he's there, you know, no one's getting through in time. The only other way is to go all the way through lobby. And this will end up being, what, like a 6.5, 7 minute E cap, I think?
We'll see.
Nearly 8, okay.
Yeah. So 8 minutes, an 8-minute cap time, well 7:56 technically, but you know, 4 seconds. What difference does it make? Actually, it could make all the difference. We'll see. But
it could. It was 1/5 of the difference on Badwater.
That's true. That's true. So yeah. So really, just really good stuff from BP. I love the adventurism. I love just trying out different stuff. Again, them committing all of those resources to start pushing E, and then to just split the attention of Crippled Cartel. You know, I think if someone like Kresnik was watching, he'd be quite proud of that. But now, you know, now it's on Crippled Cartel. They did pull a rabbit out of the hat last game, getting a lot of really good cap time, getting the right kills. Do you think that they have that they're gonna pull this off for Steel?
See, I don't know what Crippled are going to have in store for their offense. Very, obviously, again, we'll see A fall in, 20, 30 seconds again, probably. Probably a little slower. They're not committing as many people for the cap because they know it's going to be free. They're actually looking to get intel onto B right now. So it'll be a little slower on the A cap. Within a minute is what we should be looking at. As we've actually had... Okay, Vashta committed out of spawn all the way onto the point, which makes me think they might just try and go E.
Hard commit E, let's go. Cheese for cheese, boys.
There's no way. Surely they don't. But there's no other reason you'd commit your med out of 8, because you either need to go back through spawn anyway or go through the drop down, and you never want to go through drop down. And look at this default, Crud, Lugnuts, and Ginger Cat now.
That's the combo of them right there, yeah. They're gonna have to be careful because Duck is lurking in the wings to get some sort of kill. He will have seen and called all those players going behind. Precious is already on the case, getting some some defensive time. But at the same time, they've managed to capture B as well. So this is really good if you Crippled Cartel. They picked up 2 points in about a minute 20 seconds or so. So we'll see. I'm not sure how they managed to pressure out the all of BP off of B. It might have just been that entire combo rotating over towards E, but yeah, I mean it's I don't know, it's interesting at the moment.
No, this is the thing, is that they know that there's always going to be a player watching that door, right? Your scout or soldier is always going to be there, and I don't know if they're trying to play like mind games with Duck here, but he'll want to win. His team lost on the first map, so they want to pick up this one after a really good offense. And, well, if he sees a whole combo looking to push E, that's players that could lose the game. And, well, Tal dropping. He's not going to do his team anymore.
To the shortstop, too?
Yeah. Oh, no.
Oh, God. I love it. But you see this. You saw Lux and Zoic holding down the fort on E, just getting more cap time, while the combo of Crippled Cartel are basically kind of doing tit for tat on E as well. But you look at that, Crippled Cartel, BP had dropped 5 in that. They do have Jolson setting up a level 1 up over the point on E, but they're gonna have to be careful and really sort of get the defense together. They seemed a bit scattered in this defensive hold for them.
Oh, and Cappy went to try and deny C, but couldn't get there in time. Got both kills, but they were just blocking him enough to prevent him from stopping the cap. And see, there are now 5 minutes for Crippled Cartel to push D&E. And D&E, if you know how to play the map, the easiest points to push outside of A, obviously, right? B is really difficult, and unless the other team just completely gives up B, rather gives up C. C is really difficult to hold as well. But the thing is D&E, because of how crucial
Look
E
how
is,
many frags they're getting too.
It's ridiculous. Because of how crucial E is, teams at this point forget about D completely. But D is one of the most impactful points on the map, because you can see these 2 doors that BP are going to funnel out of now. That Default has stickies all over. They shut when D is capped, and a lot of teams forget about that in the moment. So they just focus on E, and either you stop E and D gets capped and then it's an easy E cap, or you stop D and then E just gets capped anyway, which is what Crippled Cartel are doing now.
Or you don't stop any of them at all and you win the map. Crippled Cartel. What? I have a headache actually after watching all of this, man. What a series. Crippled Cartel taking the series tonight with the victory on Badwater and the victory on Steel.
Very rarely do we get games of this caliber and like that level of technical play against teams like this. So honestly, shout out to both teams. I was surprised.
Reminders: subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to watch the VOD. Subscribe to our Twitch, because then you can watch the VOD immediately, and a lot of other cool stuff. Follow us on Twitter as well, so you never miss a live notification. Also, because we're a great organization, Critscast. Join our Discord subscribe to us on Patreon if you're feeling gracious and kind like that. We have merch as well, you know, hoodies, masks, mugs, etc. And all of that goes back into making Critscast just have really good high quality production and do really cool stuff for the community. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for tuning in to this game tonight. We have watched Crippled Cartel do an excellent job getting the dub tonight against BP, winning the maps on Badwater, winning the map on Steel, and both teams playing a really, really excellent game. Again, my name is Just Jazz. I've been joined by Michael, Core on production, and we'll see you on the next one.
Peace.
Hi, old beaver! Away!